QUANTICO, artichoke. Exterior, Torres campaign headquarters, morning. The office is second-hand furnished and inside a strip mall in a low-income neighborhood. Could be headquarters for an upstart fast food workers union, or maybe a neighborhood volunteer theater. Instead, it's a leftist third-party political campaign headquarters. And the office was firebombed last night. Hints of smoke remain, although the embers are extinguished. Abigail Torres, 60, stands beside a fire marshal and takes stock of the damage. A scowl forms on Abigail's face. Alex Parrish is accompanied by somebody with official business to be here. Maybe a lawyer or a news reporter. They walk onto the crime scene. Alex is the cause of Abigail's scowl.
What's she doing here?
Dr. Parrish,
I know who she is. I asked, what is she doing here?
I requested Dr. Parrish consult us. She's highly regarded by the FBI.
She came by here just before this happened.
Indicates damage.
Asked to be our security consultant.
This may not have happened if...
It may have happened because of her. What's it called? Casing the joint?
Alex overhears. She crosses to Abigail and the fire marshal.
I'm terribly sorry about this.
You're trespassing, Agent Parrish.
I'm no longer with the FBI, and I'm no longer an agent. I'm a private security consultant.
Has the Bureau privatized its COINTELPRO?
What do you mean?
Malcolm X, Dr. King, Ethel Rosenberg,
That's not the Bureau. I know. That's ancient history.
Hillary Clinton and her emails.
The fire marshal gently takes hold of Alex's elbow.
My apologies, Alex. Since you're not here in an official capacity, Professor Torres has the right to ask you to leave.
Abigail, reconsider. Please. You may be sorry not to.
Alex turns and walks out the firebombed office.
So who handles your security?
Rather than answer nobody, Abigail turns away to engage in other business. An aide, a millennial with rainbow-hued hair, standing near Abigail, studies a smartphone LCD.
Abigail,
Carries over phone.
you better see this.
The rainbow-hued millennial shows Abigail a news broadcast on the smartphone's display.
Democratic candidate Gordon Townsend, citing his son's kidnapping, announces he has dropped out of the governor's race.
A second aide, a millennial with monochromatic hair, looks on and shakes her head.
Ballots were mailed.
I bet his vote goes to Lieutenant General candidate.
It's at the Secretary of State's discretion, and with our Secretary of State,
It won't happen.
Are you saying that's it? El Duce becomes governor?
Won't happen. Democrats got nowhere else to go. They'll vote for Abigail. We have this thing locked.
The fire marshal and the two millennial volunteers turn to Abigail, who stands frozen. Up until now, Abigail's campaign was a farce which only might deny a Democratic candidate the governorship. The reality she might win starts to sink in.
go check if Agent Parrish is still outside.
Seconds later, the rainbow-hued and the monochromatic millennials escort Alex Parrish back inside to meet Abigail Torres.
Thank you, Abigail, for this change of heart and agreeing to see me.
Do you carry a gun?
Alex hesitates, then reveals the concealed pistol she carries.
I'm a candidate of the People's Party, not the People's Oppressor.
I have a permit.
Our party platform opposes concealed carry. Our security director has to abide by the party platform. Understand?
You don't like me much, do you?
I loathe you.
Then why hire me?
Didn't you volunteer your services earlier?
Alex nods yes.
I detest policemen in general and secret policemen such as yourself much more.
Exterior establishing shot, Norteño, music bar, night. Old mint pickups and low-ride Chevys are parked in a lot. Interior music bar, night. Eddie, ex-husband of a deceased FBI agent, Natalie Vasquez, sits in a booth with an underworld companion, Lucifer Lago.
Let's see your piece.
Eddie slides a concealed Heckler & Koch .45 tactical under the booth table. Lucifer inspects it.
Back in business, Eddie?
I should have never left.
If your old lady Natalie still were around, you won't say that.
Let's not talk about her.
You can't work in this biz with a lady FBI agent at home in the kitchen.
Lucifer slips the .45 tactical under the table back to Eddie.
Natalie's dead, and I need work. Crime pays. Being straight, John, doesn't.
You used to be good. One of the best, fearless.
I still am.
Been out of it a while.
You want me or not?
I want you.
What's the scoop? What do you want me for?
We bring stuff across the border.
Trump said he'd close it.
He was talking about Mexicans, not Mexican grown.
Lucifer offers Eddie a handshake across the booth table.
You in?
Eddie accepts the handshake.
I'm in.
Exterior music bar night. Eddie strolls out and slips into a pickup truck. He shakes awake his and Natalie Vasquez's 6-year-old daughter, Renata.
Hey, sleepyhead, wake up.
Renata opens her tired eyes.
You were inside a long time.
I'm sorry. Your daddy has a job now. You happy about it?
Renata tiredly nods yes.
Hey, Renata. How about an ice cream to celebrate?
Again, Renata tiredly nods yes. Exterior mobile home day. Ryan Booth, aka Butch, rides up to the sun-faded mobile home on an amateurishly chopped 883 Sportster. He puts down the motorcycle's kickstand on a cracked cement tile and strolls across sandy soil to the trailer's screen door. Ryan raises a hand to knock. Still a cop, even while undercover, his eyes rapidly scan the interior for clues and evidence. Ryan's POV. A fire extinguisher stands incongruously in the middle of the mobile home's floor. Ryan notices, too, a singed campaign poster for Abigail Torres' gubernatorial run. On a countertop rests a tactical shotgun topped with handfuls of shells spread around it. Back to scene. Ryan's eyes fall upon a snoring bulge beneath a blanket.
Popeye, that you?
Ryan slips a hand through a rip in the door's insect screen. His hand unlocks the screen door from inside. Interior mobile home day. Ryan shakes awake, the bulge snoring underneath the blanket.
Popeye.
Popeye, a veteran PFC of Bush 41's first Gulf War, pokes up his head from underneath the covers.
What you doing here, Butch?
I'm only 10 minutes early.
For what?
Ryan, inappropriate undercover character, feigns enthusiasm.
My first bit of border patrol.
Popeye's bleary eyes survey the disorder inside the mobile home.
You see my phone?
Ryan glances about too. No phone in sight. He takes out a cell phone and presses a speed dial number. A pocket in Popeye's colors leather jacket rings Born to be Wild.
Get that for me.
Ryan retrieves and returns the cell phone. Popeye dials.
Putin. Popeye. Yeah, I know. Got the new recruit here. He wants to know about this morning's border patrol. Yeah, that's what I figured. Sorry to disturb you.
Popeye ends the call.
Looks like today's a Mexican holiday.
What do you mean?
Today's border patrol is canceled. Mexis get to walk in free.
You guys say you're a serious military organization, not a bunch of civilians. Pretty much like all talk, no action.
We are serious, man. Real serious.
That's why I want to join. Finding you sneaking it off instead of manning the border makes me wonder, should I look elsewhere?
You got us wrong, Butch. We're the organization you want to join. We merely took a bit of R&R after a very successful operation.
Ryan points to Abigail Torres' campaign poster.
Is she running for governor of Arizona or governor of Sonora?
Neither.
Grins.
Not no more.
Ryan casts a glance around the mobile home's interior.
What I see doesn't look good.
What you see is Secret Squirrel, not for a new recruit.
Secret Squirrel usually is a cover for a screw-up.
Not this time, Butch. Let me say this. The barbecue tasted delicious.
Interior farm classroom day, earlier timeline. Owen Hall lords over his captive audience, trainees who must obtain his stamp of approval to become CIA agents. Ryan Booth hangs on Owen's every word. Alex Parrish's distracted gaze shifts from Owen to Ryan, who, so focused on Owen, fails to acknowledge Alex. Owen's eyebrows, on the other hand, arch. He did catch Alex's attention shift away from him to Ryan.
Who knows who is responsible for bringing Al Capone to justice?
Harry Doyle perks up and gives Alex a sly wink.
That would be your illustrious G-Man and Dr. Parrish's spiritual grandfather, J. Edgar Hoover.
Partially correct. Someone else was more directly responsible than the director.
Sebastian Chen snickers. His focus shifts away from Harry Doyle and back to Owen Hall.
FBI agent Frank Wilson.
Correct.
Owen notices Alex's attention shift a second time away from him to Ryan Booth.
Parrish, what was it that Agent Wilson demonstrated?
Tax evasion?
Former Agent Booth?
Former agent Special Agent Booth.
I stand corrected. Do you agree with what former Agent Parrish says?
Glances at Alex.
Not generally. This time I do.
Now, touching.
Ryan turns to Harry Doyle and scowls.
His department lore.
Owen addresses all trainees in the classroom.
Taxes. What does that tell you?
You Yanks always have trouble coughing up funds to your sovereign government.
Even in Boston.
Answers Owen Hall.
Frank Wilson was an IRS accountant who transferred into the FBI. He used financial records to prove Al Capone held control of unreported taxable income.
Which got him
8 years in Atlanta Penitentiary.
7.5.
If you're a suspected spy in a foreign country with known ties to an unjustifiable and illegal stream of cash, what should you expect?
Diana Nampazi listens intently.
A firing squad.
If you're lucky, you will almost certainly be tortured. How much depends on the country's Amnesty International score?
All the more reason to restrict one spying to Sweden.
Nothing interesting goes on in Sweden.
Depends on what you're after.
To move a large sum of cash undetected is an important part of spycraft. The world's biggest drug smugglers are not brought down when they're exfiltrating contraband. Re-infiltrating their hard-earned cash is what brings them down.
Angie hands out foreign passbook savings accounts to the classroom CIA trainees. Simultaneously, Jason hands the trainees First Williamsburg Bank account passbooks. Diana opens a Bidvest Bank passbook. It holds 6,750,000 South African rand. Sebastian Chen opens a First Williamsburg Bank. Its balance is 0. Harry Doyle opens his First Williamsburg Bank passbook.
You handed me my own account, 0 balance.
Each of you has a week to repatriate $500,000 of CIA cash held abroad back to the First Williamsburg Bank downtown. The point of this exercise is to slip under the radars of both foreign governments and our own government. I want to see $500,000 disappear from the foreign bank account you hold and to miraculously reappear at the local bank. I don't want to see how it happens. The transaction should be untraceable. This is an important skill for your future assignments. Of course, anyone caught by officials overseas is on their own. The CIA will deny any affiliation with you.
So don't get caught.
Owen glances at a wall clock.
You have until 10 a.m. next Monday when the bank opens.
End flashback. Title card. Interior Eddie's one-bedroom apartment, night. Natasha, early 20s, originally from Omsk, Siberia, watches Vladimir Putin being lauded on a NTV America cable newscast.
Come see. Here, great man.
Renata turns away from staring out a front window. Natasha notices the glisten of tears in Renata's eyes.
Your father spoiled you. If he no spoil you, you would smile. No cry when he gone. It's raining. Now the last day I saw my mom, it rained. Whenever it rains, I can't help but think of her.
Natasha pours vodka, downs a shot, and nibbles a pickle.
Good America mostly desert.
Exterior sports arena day. Ryan Booth and Popeye join an armed and camouflage-wearing paramilitary border militia, which stands before a gate to a sports arena. The amplified voice of a gubernatorial candidate, Sam Foote, who campaigns inside the arena, is heard.
We need to take back America and make it great again.
A crowd inside the arena cheers these words. Putin, mid-30s, a paramilitary leader, sizes up Ryan.
You men perimeter in the parking lot.
Who's my partner?
You're the new guy, you don't have one yet.
In Afghanistan, no one went outside the wire without a partner.
This ain't Afghanistan.
Popeye's paramilitary partner, Baghdad Bob, who, like Popeye, is bearded and obese, interrupts.
Not yet, anyhow.
The paramilitary men chuckle at this. Putin turns to them.
Move out, men.
The paramilitary disperses. Popeye crosses to Ryan.
Putin served his drones that flew over Nangarhar province.
Which means he never once set foot up Jalalabad airport.
Exterior arena parking lot day. The parking lot is filled with snowbird retirees, their Buick SUVs, and their Ford F-150s. MAGA, Make America Great Again, t-shirts and baseball caps are everywhere. Ryan Booth strolls alone among the angry retirees. He hoists a cell phone to his ear. Exterior Nima's apartment building day. Nima Amin suns herself beside an apartment complex pool. Her mobile phone flashes to announce Ryan's call. Intercut cell phone conversation.
Nima, have you heard of anything about Torres supporters showing up today at the stadium?
Nothing.
I feel like the good soldiers at the border recon are setting me up.
Okay, be careful, Ryan. I'll phone Alex.
Exterior Torres campaign headquarters day. Campaign volunteers carry out filing cabinets, computers, and campaign paraphernalia from the fire-damaged storefront. They load furniture and gear into a pair of U-Haul trucks. Alex Parrish stands, watches, and reviews paperwork on a clipboard. A middle-aged campaign volunteer strolls her way.
You in charge?
Nope. Alex glances around to find someone. By chance, she sees Alex's POV. Abigail Torres' two political aides, the rainbow-hued-haired millennial and the monochromatic-haired one, slip away from the other of campaign volunteers. The pair sneaks into a parked Toyota Prius. Back to scene. Alex receives a Min's phone call.
Pardon me, I have to take this.
The middle-aged campaign volunteer, in a huff, steps away. Interior Torres campaign headquarters day. The middle-aged volunteer stomps into the campaign office and marches up to Abigail Torres.
Who's in charge here, Abigail?
Through the smashed and taped front window, Abigail sees. Alex climbs in her car and calls out to campaign volunteer.
I'm heading out to check an opposition rally. There might be trouble.
Alex starts her car and follows after the departing Prius. Back to scene. Abigail calls out to nearby campaign volunteers.
Any of you know where's Parrish going?
Collectively, the campaign volunteers shake their heads. No.
I don't trust her an iota.
Interior Wyatt's cover home, night, earlier timeline. Shelby Wyatt walks in through her front door. She senses the door behind her has not shut, turns around, and discovers Alex Parrish holding the door open.
What are you doing here?
I checked. I was a follow-up.
I'm no longer your handler. I'm undercover.
We're still French, Shelby. Aren't we?
You could get me killed. I don't know anymore. Where's your car?
3 blocks away. Leon won't see it.
I can't have you standing outside.
Then invite me in.
Shelby opens the door wider. Alex steps inside. Shelby shuts the front door.
What do you want?
Help with Owen Hall's next assignment.
This is about your homework?
I have to move $500,000 from Chile to the United States without being detected by their government or ours.
Is that all? Are you supposed to figure this out by yourself? Otherwise it's cheating.
Our whole business is cheating, Shelby. Haven't you noticed?
Some of us aren't as good at it as either you or Ryan.
It's only moving cash. You're chairman of McCabe Wyatt. You ought to have a better idea of how it's done.
And my parents are fugitives from the United States government for about 16 years.
Okay, it runs in the family. My dad was a guilt-stricken cop. Any ideas?
You need a couple of disreputable attorneys.
I have a dozen.
And a gullible, sanctimonious judge.
I'm from the Bay Area. Won't be a problem.
A car is heard pulling up in the driveway.
That'll be Leon. He has a key.
Alex backs away from Shelby toward the kitchen.
Later?
Where are you going?
Alex mouths whispers an answer. Alex slips in the kitchen before Leon Velez enters through the front door. Shelby throws her arms around Leon and kisses him.
Have you been waiting here for me?
For a long time.
Shelby leaps into Leon's arms. He catches hold of her.
Let's go upstairs.
As Leon carries Shelby towards the stairs, Shelby sneaks a glance over his shoulder. She catches sight of Alex stealthily pulling the back door shut behind her. End of Act 1. Act 2. Exterior sports arena parking lot. Day. Alex Parrish parks her car and crosses to a knot of Abigail Torres supporters who protest from the parking lot's fringe. The millennial with rainbow-hued and the millennial with monochromatic hair lead the protest. The demonstrators target right-wing gubernatorial candidate Sam Foote with protest signs and chant an anti-Trump slogan popularized during the March 2017 Women's Day protests.
We don't want your tiny hands anywhere near our underpants.
Ryan Booth, armed with a pistol-caliber semi-automatic rifle, stands guard as a lone representative of Sam Foote's paramilitary parking lot detail. Ryan and Alex spot one another. As much as it is humanly possible for two lovers to do, they avoid acknowledging each other's existence. Alex soldiers past Ryan and accosts both Abigail Torres' millennial aides.
Why wasn't I informed of this?
Abigail's orders.
Nearby, Eddie, his underworld companion Lucifer Lago, and other drug-trafficking cholos ride in the bed of a pair of Cherry Classic pickup trucks that drive into the arena parking lot. Popeye, his partner Baghdad Bob, and other border militiamen stand cross-armed at arena's main gate and watch the cholos. Lucifer Lago steps away from his cholos and strolls up to Popeye. They shake hands.
Sorry we're late.
No problem, compadre.
Baghdad Bob turns away to silently signal a militia marksman. The marksman scoots away from the other militiamen, seeks cover between a pair of parked cars, and removes a gnarly scoped carbine from a gym bag. Alex spots the militia marksman. Her eyes track a line to the marksman's intended target, Ryan Booth. Because Ryan's back is turned to face the protesters, he is unaware a gunman is targeting him from behind. Alex ditches the protesters and dashes towards the militia marksman. POV rifle scope. Pedestrians, perchance, stroll by and obstruct the marksman's shot. The crosshairs of the gunman's scope are not targeted for a kill. Rather, the militia marksman is aiming for a well-placed wound to Ryan's shoulder. Back to scene. The militia marksman, focused with the gun scope, fails to notice Alex. She charges towards and drop kicks the rifleman. The Commotion in the parking lot, which Alex creates, attracts Lucifer and Eddie's notice.
We're supposed to wait till we hear a gunshot.
Forget it, it's going down.
Eddie rips out a length of chain. Other armed cholos whip out clubs, knives, and chains. They holler and charge towards Abigail Torres' supporters who protest at the fringe of the parking lot. Ryan turns to see Alex handcuffing the militia marksman. A few gun-bearing border militiamen move in to encircle her. Alex withdraws an FBI badge to hold them off.
Stay back. FBI.
The border militiamen back away. Ryan turns back to see Eddie's armed cholos attacking the protesters. The cholos brandish their weapons mostly to sow fear and inflict minor injury. No protester is seriously hurt. Ryan clutches his small caliber semi-automatic rifle and charges forward to protect Abigail Torres' supporters. He hollers a threat at the cholos.
Leave them alone!
Eddie's cholos flee from Ryan. The flashing lights and sirens of police patrol cars converge around the melee. Ryan lays down his automatic rifle on the tarmac and raises his arms in surrender.
I'm unarmed.
Cops, with pistols drawn, swarm around Ryan. Alex frog marches the handcuffed militia marksman to the cops. A nervous cop spots Alex and aims a pistol at her.
Stay where you are.
I'm FBI.
Indicates marksman.
This is who you want.
Points to Ryan.
Not him. He's the one who stopped a riot.
The nervous cop does not trust her and continues to hold his pistol drawn on Alex.
Who are you?
Special Agent Alex Parrish. I'll show you my credential.
Slowly, very slowly.
Alex, glacially slow, withdraws and presents the FBI badge for the nervous cop to study.
Seems all right.
The nervous cop signals his companions. 3 cops step forward and take custody of the militia marksman. Abigail Torres' 2 young millennial aides observe from a distance what is happening.
You saw?
Abigail needs to know.
Interior, farm gym, day. Earlier timeline. Alex Parrish performs lifts on parallel bars. Harry Doyle steps off a treadmill and crosses to her.
You seem relaxed about next week's assignment.
Alex concentrates on her lifts, not Harry.
I got her under control.
You've had a few, maybe too many, close calls on the murder board. You might consider assisting someone who has yet to receive such infamy, the experience of several hours in purgatory.
You mean Ryan Booth? No one as consistent as him reaches the top of the murder board.
Some clearly have the favor of the gods, and you I don't aim to tempt fate.
Sebastian? No one has improved as much as him.
I look upon Sebastian as a sort of protege. Might we undercut someone else?
Who?
Millie Metzger.
Why her?
Have you noticed how she always places in the top half of the murder board? Never quite reaching the top tier, but never sinking to the bottom either.
I wouldn't mind being as consistent as her.
But you're not. Consistency, Alex, for you isn't a goal. It is, however, for safe and reliable Miss Millie Metzger.
You could help her reach the top instead.
Not my style. I'd rather drag her down in the mud with the likes of me and you.
Why?
To help you and myself. There's nothing I despise more than the safe, comfortable middle. I'm more drawn to the extremes.
Like Ryan and I.
Exactly. What I propose is just a bit of fraud among friends and colleagues. Why risk moving your own capital past watchfully and snoopy border controls? Isn't it wiser to take control of someone else's money and only risk losing what they've already lost?
Alex lowers herself to ground off the parallel bars.
No. Thank you, Harry.
Is that a no?
Definitely.
Alex, without saying more, walks away from Harry. End flashback. Exterior, Nima Amin, Eddie's apartment building, night. Eddie returns to his apartment. He passes the lounge chair where Nima Amin earlier sunned herself by the pool. This reveals that Eddie and Nima happen to live in the same apartment complex. Interior, Eddie's one-bedroom apartment, night. Eddie discovers Natasha passed out drunk on the living room sofa. A bombastic propaganda film, 2015 Lady Death, blares on Russian-language cable channel, NTV America. Eddie glances about for his daughter.
Renata?
Renata opens the door and creeps out of his and Natasha's bedroom.
I tried sleeping in your bed. You don't mind?
No, Angel, I don't mind. School tomorrow?
Renata wearily nods yes. Eddie picks up a remote and switches off the television. Natasha wakes up with a start to ask who's there.
Что это?
Notices Eddie.
I was watching that.
You were passed out. Renata has school.
What good school?
In the bedroom. We need to talk.
Natasha rises from the sofa and stalks off to the bedroom. Moments later, Eddie takes away empty liquor bottles and drink glasses from the coffee table. Renata spreads a Moana-decorated pillow and blanket on the sofa and crawls in bed.
Good night.
Good night, Papa.
Renata immediately drops to sleep. Eddie, shamefaced, gazes at her. He strides to the bedroom and pulls shut the door.
You agreed to look after her!
I changed my mind!
Eddie and Natasha's yelling forces Renata to wake up. Her sad look suggests it's happened before.
I young and beautiful. I don't want to be ugly babushka.
Renata rises and quietly slips out the apartment's front door. Eddie hears a faint noise and pokes his head out the bedroom door.
Renata,
Eddie crosses the sofa, sees Renata is gone, and reacts. Natasha saunters out the bedroom, sees the sofa empty, and casually shrugs. Eddie observes this and glares her way. End of Act 2. Act 3. Interior Nima's apartment, night. Nima Amin awakes to hear a neighboring couple, Eddie and Natasha, yell at each other.
is it too much to ask you to look after her? What else do you do all day?
I do nothing last no day because of her.
Nima rises and peeks out a front window of her apartment. Nima's POV. Nima sees Renata knock on a neighbor's apartment door. No one answers. Back to scene. Nima deliberates whether to open the door to her apartment. Exterior Nima Amin, Eddie's apartment building, night. Renata is about to knock on a second apartment door. A dimmed light and pornographic television audio imply this apartment is occupied. Nima Amin opens her front door. Renata catches sight of the light cast from Nima's ajar door. She turns and sees Nima signal no to her. Renata decides against knocking on the strange door. Instead, she crosses to Nima's apartment. Exterior, farm, dormitory, veranda, day, earlier timeline. Millie Metzger steps up onto a veranda as Harry Doyle lounges in the veranda's shade. He glances up from the laptop computer to watch her cross to the dormitory's front door without acknowledging him.
Good afternoon, Millie. May I have a word with you?
At that very moment, Millie's mobile rings.
Excuse me.
An image of a $500,000 Florida condo shows up on the display of Millie's phone. Harry watches her frown.
Might that have something to do with this week's money laundering assignment?
Millie nods yes.
Willing to reveal your plan?
I don't see why not. High-end real estate?
The preferred investment of third world despots, Donald Trump, and Russian oligarchs. It might work, but should need more than the week's deadline to pull off.
So I learned the hard way.
My scheme takes milliseconds.
You're joking.
Flash trading. Money transferred at 1/3 the speed of light. Impossible to trace.
Who, can you do it?
Not by myself. I require assistance of Confederates in London and New York.
Be nice to have your connections.
My problem is I only have a piddling $500,000 to move, a sum these gentlemen regard as unworthy of their talent and effort.
With a partner, you'll have $1 million.
Harry gives Millie his most sincere Bernie Madoff smile.
There's an idea.
Alex Parrish pops out the dormitory's front door onto the veranda. She feigns surprise to see Millie Metzger and Harry Doyle together.
Millie? Diana and I have been looking all over for you.
Opens door wider.
Might you spare us a moment?
Millie glances back. Harry implies the deal is off if Millie leaves with Alex by sourly shuts the lid of his laptop computer. Alex points to Harry as she speaks with Millie.
Don't mind him. He'll still be there when we're done.
Alex leads Millie through the front door. Harry frowns as both women go. Exterior safe house, night. Alex Parrish's handler, Nima Amin, drives Alex up to an FBI safe house. A single SUV sits parked outside. Interior safe house, night. Nima and Alex walk in. Ryan Booth and his handler, Shelby Wyatt, wait for them inside.
Had an opportunity to thank you for yesterday afternoon.
For what?
You spared me from taking a bullet. That means a lot to those of us who lived in a foxhole.
She caresses Ryan's chest.
I would have done it for any fellow agent. After all, the FBI doesn't hand out Purple Hearts.
Ryan hesitates. Nonetheless, he is optimistic.
And fiance.
Alex, pro forma, argues otherwise.
Ex-fiance.
If the border militia is intent on killing you, the operation is over. I won't send you back.
I witnessed the local donut patrol's interrogation of the gunman.
Memory flash. Police interrogation room. Alex stands behind one-way glass. Local detective interrogate the militia marksman.
The militia's goal was to wound Ryan, not kill him.
Back to scene. Shelby, Nima, and Alex listen as Alex relates her tale.
Why would they do that? A false flag operation to discredit the Torres campaign.
These are dangerous people. I have to get inside this organization.
To Shelby and Nima.
I'd like a word alone with Ryan. Do you guys mind?
Shelby and Nima shake their heads no.
I don't mind. Take all the time you need.
Ryan and Alex watch Shelby and Nima walk out the safe house door.
Shouldn't I be the one to thank you?
That's not what this is about.
We're the master of surprises, Alex. What is it this time?
I watched you stand up to a mob.
Yesterday?
Alex nods yes.
Both of us did, Alex, together. If I had been shot, I wouldn't have been able to do a thing.
Alex embraces Ryan and rests her head against his chest.
After my father's death, when I had to leave for India, I saw a mob attack a Muslim village who lived in the village for generations.
It must have been terrible.
Yes. I was an outsider and afraid to stop it.
You were just a teenager. It's understandable.
I know it takes courage to stand up to a mob.
You have that courage now, Alex. You need to be hard on yourself.
Alex seizes Ryan and kisses him. He returns her kiss with equal passion. End flashback. Exterior safe house night. Shelby Wyatt checks her watch and turns to Nima Amin.
You think they're still arguing? By now they should be making up. I could use your advice, Shelby. Something outside the operation has come up. A little romance, maybe? This is more maternal. A child in the apartment complex I live in has a miserable home life. That's terrible. For a couple of minutes, I took her in to watch her. I see nothing wrong with it. Next time, take a picture of her. We can run a background check with it. I already did.
Nima shows Shelby a photograph on her smartphone. It's Renata eating ice cream at the kitchen table in Nima's apartment.
She's so cute. It can't be.
Shelby digs out her smartphone and scrolls through a Quantico photo album of FBI trainees from season 1.
What is it?
Shelby shows Nima a Quantico graduation photo. It's Natalie Vasquez with her daughter Renata.
This is Natalie's daughter, Renata, at Quantico. Same name. Same girl. Her father is named Eddie. That's Natalie's ex-husband's name. Miranda would know more.
Interior safe house night. Alex rests in Ryan's arms. Both are covered partially by a sheet, but otherwise naked.
Maybe this shows we can work together and have a relationship beyond that of co-workers.
The operation isn't over yet.
You consider it afterward?
Let's see. It'll be hard.
I admit it'll be hard. I refuse to admit it's impossible.
Interior Torres campaign headquarters night. A handful of supporters step out of Abigail Torres' private office. The millennial with rainbow-hued hair and the millennial with monochromatic hair remain behind with Abigail. Leaving the office,
We're glad you're back in town, Abigail.
Thank you. I'm happy to be back.
the millennials wait until they are alone to speak with Abigail.
Abigail, there's something we need to talk about.
It's about Alex Parrish.
I knew I couldn't trust her. Did you see her carrying a gun?
Both millennials shake their heads no. The rainbow-hued-haired millennial withdraws the smartphone. On the LCD screen, Alex Parrish is glimpsed in a brief video flashing a badge to local cops during the disturbance in the sports arena's parking lot. Abigail replays the video again.
It looks like a sheriff's badge.
Worse,
Indicates second millennial.
FBI. We heard her say it 2 days ago. Both of us did.
The millennial with monochromatic hair nods in agreement. Abigail ponders the phone's display.
Don't tell anyone about this.
We won't.
When the time is right, I'll see Alex Parrish and the organization behind her pay big time for their infiltration against us.
End of Act 3. Act 4. Exterior, Santa Cruz County Courthouse. Day. Earlier timeline. Diana Mampazzi and Alex Parrish stroll into the Watsonville, California courthouse. Millie Metzger and a fourth trainee from the farm at the same moment stroll in through a door on the courthouse's opposite side. Interior courtroom. Day. Earlier timeline. Alex sits on the right, the plaintiff's side of the courtroom. Millie and the fourth trainee from the farm sit on the left, the defendant's side of the courtroom. Diana acts as Alex's legal counsel and carries a stack of paperwork to a court clerk. Diana returns, sits beside Alex, and whispers.
Our expert witness is no more qualified to be an expert than my 7-year-old nephew.
Shh. The court clerk transports Diana's paperwork to a judge. The jurist peruses the documents and gavels a decision.
Approved.
Moments later, earlier timeline. Millie acts as defense counsel to the fourth trainee from the farm and hands the court clerk other documents. The court clerk transports the papers to the judge. The jurist peruses the documents and gavels a decision.
All defense witnesses are denied.
Diana whispers to Alex beside her.
Any one of these 3 experts is qualified to testify.
Shh. Alex beams warmly at the judge. The judge winks back at Alex. Exterior Santa Cruz County Courthouse. Day. Earlier timeline. Alex and Diana stroll out the courthouse.
We won.
What a travesty. I didn't deserve to win this.
The case was rigged anyway. What's it matter? We have a $2 million settlement entered in the books. Tax-free and untraceable.
A photojournalist mounts the steps to snap a photograph of Alex and Diana as they are leaving the courthouse. End flashback. Interior Nima Amin's apartment, night. Miranda Shaw Skypes Nima Amin through Nima's laptop.
I know this stretches protocol, but I hope you might keep an eye on Natalie's daughter while you're on this operation.
I have no problem with it, Miranda. It's the right thing to do.
There's a knock on the apartment's front door.
Sorry, I have to go.
Nima checks the sight glass and opens the front door. Renata's father, Eddie, stands outside.
I want to thank you for looking after my daughter the other day.
It was no problem.
I sort of hope you might be able to do so again. Maybe I can pay you.
What about your girlfriend?
The Rusky? She's walking a fine line.
I have plenty of other things to do. I won't always be available.
How about now and then? In a pinch?
We'll see.
Eddie offers Nima his hand.
Eddie.
Nima shakes his hand.
Lilia.
That's a Mex name. You're not Mex.
Nima stands silent and racks her brain for an excuse.
My Abula is from Veracruz. I'm pretty sure you're Lebanese.
My family's from Veracruz too, but I'm born here. Really, it's Layla. Can we keep this secret between us?
I'm Chicano, Lilia. I understand your predicament.
Exterior, Virtue Financial, day, earlier timeline. Establishing shot of an opulent corporate campus in suburban Stamford, Connecticut. Interior, Virtue Financial, day, earlier timeline. Leon Velez and Harry Doyle hover over a Virtue Financial trader who taps commands on the keyboard. The trader, despite pricey tailoring, remains an inarticulate engineering tech type. He seems worried.
What's wrong?
I'm not sure, but
But something is not right.
looks that way.
What is it, Harry?
But don't ask me.
Harry points to the financial trader.
Ask him.
A glitch. Someone anticipated our trades and turned them against us.
Harry clenches a fist and pounds furniture.
I don't understand.
Stop this at once.
The trader hurriedly taps a few computer keys.
Too late. The account is depleted.
$1 million?
You're talking hundreds of swap trades a second. Too fast for anything but a Cray computer to comprehend. The $500,000 vanished in milliseconds.
It's known as quote stuffing. Usually two flash traders work in collusion to pull it off.
Is it legal?
Of course not, but it's the reason why an average bloke logging on his 401k lunch at work never gets ahead.
Shall I attempt the second account?
Not on your life. Lock it tight.
The trader taps a few computer keys.
Locked.
I'm sorry you lost your $500,000 to Harry.
My half.
Didn't you say you'd go first?
That might be what I said, but it's not what we did.
You mean...
You're as flat as a Kansas governor's desk globe.
Interior Supercomputer Lab day, earlier timeline. FBI agent Will Olson studies a computer screen. Alex Parrish stands beside him.
High-frequency trading stopped. What should I do?
Check Harry Doyle's account.
Will speed types on a computer keyboard.
Fort Knox.
Keep an eye on it.
If he unfreezes it, shall I do to him what we did to Leon Velez?
I hate what we did to Leon. I only want to teach Harry a lesson.
I can return Leon's $500,000 anytime. It's parked in liquidity pool.
Oh, what?
Wall Street's latest trick. Better than the Cayman Islands.
Wait. Until you see no activity on Harry's account, then move Leon's money to the First Williamsburg Bank.
End flashback. Interior Torres campaign headquarters day. The millennial with rainbow-hued hair points out to Abigail Torres a subdivision on a municipal map. The millennial with monochromatic hair looks on.
The precinct is soccer mom land, but crucial to us. They worry too left-wing, but loathe Sam Foote.
Schmooze them. Canvass the neighborhood with their own kind. People they trust at one glance.
Gotcha. Got it? Tattooed, pierced, dyed, canvassers are out.
Alex Parrish walks in through the campaign headquarters front door. Campaign volunteers quit work and stare. The millennial with monochromatic hair crosses to Alex.
You need to leave, J. Edgar Hoover Jr. COINTELPRO Snoops aren't welcome here.
What are you talking about?
Abigail and the rainbow-hued millennial cross to Alex.
You lied to us. You're FBI.
I left the force. It's public knowledge.
Abigail turns to the rainbow-hued millennial.
Show her.
The rainbow-hued millennial holds up a cell phone and plays the video of Alex flashing an FBI badge to the local cops.
I see a secret policeman.
It's not what you think.
They say a picture's worth 1,000 words.
Alex removes the badge case from her purse and hands it to Abigail. Abigail opens the case. The badge is identical to the one in the video, but reads, Police Wife.
In a tense situation like I was in, people only see a badge. No one bothers to read what it says.
For this, Dr. Parrish, I trust you even less.
I stopped a provocation consciously intended to harm your campaign without even an expectation of a thank you. From you.
She's right, Abigail. Putting a kibosh on this is going to help us with the 23rd Precinct's nervous soccer moms.
Am I still your security director?
For now, yes.
Interior diner day. Nima Amin treats Renata to a burger and fries as she nibbles a salad. Alex Parrish strolls in and sits down across from Nima. Nima slides a badge case over to Alex. Alex cracks open the case and peeks at a real FBI special agent badge inside. Nima and Alex are careful not to expose Renata to the FBI badge.
Thanks for the suggestion. You want yours back?
Keep it. You may still need it. Did it work?
Alex nods yes and turns to Renata, who lunches unperturbed.
So, what's your name?
Renata Vasquez.
Alex offers Renata a handshake.
Alex Parrish. I'm sure your mother is very proud of you.
My mom's dead.
Alive or not, a mother always remains proud of you.
Exterior mobile home day. Ryan Booth rides up to Popeye's mobile home on his 883 Sportster. He kills the engine. A couple of late model option-loaded pickup trucks sit parked beside Popeye's decrepit truck. Interior mobile home day. Ryan walks up and peeks through the mobile home's screen door. Putin, Popeye, and Baghdad Bob sit and confer inside. Ryan walks in. Putin spots him and growls.
You're early.
Ryan checks his watch.
I'm right on time.
I told Butch 3.
Putin glares at Popeye and turns to Ryan.
You loused up a couple of days ago, Butch.
Loused up? I stopped an incident from happening.
No one told you to play good cop. You were expected to do what you're told.
Putin's gaze shifts over to Baghdad Bob and Popeye.
Your friends, against my better judgment, have convinced me to give you a second chance.
Really appreciate that, Putin.
I want you to take out the FBI bitch.
Who are you talking about?
Alex Parrish. You know who she is?
Name's familiar.
Show 'em.
Baghdad Bob holds up a Google screen grab printout of Alex Parrish.
She's in the news plenty. FBI's top agent.
We shouldn't try this. It would only bring down the whole FBI down on us.
Not us, Butch. You. You ain't one of us yet, and you won't be if you screw this one up too. Consider it your initiation.
Popeye notices Ryan seems hesitant. He turns to Putin.
Butch may not be the man for this.
You were a ground pounder in Afghanistan. You know what needs to be done needs to be done.
When I was in Afghanistan, I did my duty.
So is this.
Points out window.
Hundreds of wetbacks lie in unmarked graves in the desert outside because of us. Their families imagine they're safe and working in Denver or Pittsburgh and can't understand why the pesos aren't flowing home. We know better. Can you do this? We're not nice people, Butch. We're meat eaters. Are you a meat eater?
Alex Parrish is as good as dead and buried as the Mexies outside. When do you want this done?
Pronto.
End of Act 4. Act 5. Exterior farm dormitory day, earlier timeline. A FedEx van stops outside the dormitory, which houses Sebastian Chen and Harry Doyle. A FedEx driver delivers a flat rate envelope to the front door. Interior farm dormitory common room day, earlier timeline. Sebastian Chen relaxes on a couch as he reads a comic book. An open FedEx flat rate envelope lies nearby. Harry Doyle, in a savage mood, stomps into the common room. He catches sight of Sebastian.
Haven't you anything better to do than what you're doing?
If you speak of the assignment, I'm done.
Well, in that case, might you spare me a few quid?
For you, Harry, not a pence.
Harry crosses to Sebastian and seizes the comic book.
I could settle for this.
Sebastian leaps up from the couch and steps in Harry's face to confront him.
I need you to give that back. I'm not kidding with you.
Harry taps Sebastian gently with the comic book and returns it.
Just kidding, mate. Enjoy.
Harry turns and walks out the common room.
I will.
Interior farm classroom day, earlier timeline. All the CIA trainees, Alex, Ryan, Diana, Harry, Sebastian, Leon, etc. are seated. There in Owen Hall's eyes are turned to the murder board as the tallies appear. Sebastian, Alex, Diana, and Millie rank among the top. Leon and Ryan score in the middle, and Harry's down at the bottom. Owen projects on screen a detailed PowerPoint which summarizes all the trainees' money laundering schemes.
All of you escaped notice of our and your host of a board government. Congratulations. That includes Harry Doyle, who lost his shirt.
Would my wearing a barrel be more appropriate attire?
Leon is surprised by his placement among the middle of the murder board. He had no cause to ever question Harry Doyle's word that he lost everything at high-speed trading. Owen projects on screen an overlay that further details the results.
Now you see trails that the agency's financial analysts followed on most of you. If your adversary is any good, he'll see nearly as much as we do.
The financial trail for the team of Metzger, Mampazzi, and Parrish looks clean except for the picture the photojournalist snapped earlier in the week, which placed Diana Mampazzi and Alex Parrish together outside the Santa Cruz County Courthouse.
Parrish, The Treasury Department only followed your team's movements after the cash arrived in the States. From our government's perspective, no laws were broken. Although I imagine a few were.
Can you prove it?
No. But I do suggest, in the future, you never succumb to a home court advantage. It calls attention to those close to you. Staging your mock trial in Mississippi or Panhandle, Florida would have been wiser.
Alex nods in agreement to the wisdom of this. Meanwhile, Leon stares at an incomprehensibly complex series of transactions that document his money movements. Harry frowns at his zero balance and shoots a hateful glare Alex's way. She smiles back mischievously with feigned innocence. Owen observes the interaction between Harry and Alex. He turns to Sebastian.
Most impressive, Mr. Chen. Not only did you deliver cash untraced, you turned a very tidy profit. The Treasury and agency analysts are curious. How did you do it?
A comic book.
The trainees chortle. Harry reacts. Memory flash. Harry's POV. Farm dormitory common room. Harry Doyle spots Sebastian Chen reading a comic book. Back to scene, earlier timeline. Owen Hall waves the class to silence.
Don't laugh. Hidden in plain sight. Exactly what the agency prizes most.
End flashback. Interior Nima's apartment night. Eddie holds Renata's hand as he knocks on Nima's front door. Renata clutches her Moana decorated pillow and blanket. Nima Amin, wearing a fluffy bathrobe, answers the door.
I'm sorry we disturbed you so late.
Nima casts a sympathetic glance at Renata.
You're not why I answered the door.
Nima's remark doesn't offend Eddie. In fact, he respects her more for it.
I understand, Lydia. An emergency came up and I need someone to look after Renata.
Natasha?
I have no idea where the Rusky is. Could you do it? I can't leave Renata alone and I can't take her with me.
Nima kneels down to Renata's level.
Would you like to stay with me?
Renata looks to her father, turns to Nima and nods yes. Nima opens the door wider and Renata steps inside. Without a further word, Nima slams the door closed on Eddie's face. He's both too guilty and too grateful to be angry. Interior, Alex's apartment, Southwest USA night. Alex Parrish touches up makeup in the mirror for a night on the town. She answers a ring on her mobile phone. Exterior public phone night. A familiar beat-up 883 Sportster is parked beside a payphone in the middle of Southwest desert nowhere. Ryan Booth cradles an old-fashioned telephone receiver to his ear.
Hello, Alex.
Intercut telephone conversation.
Hi, Ryan. Shelby warned me to expect a call. I thought we agreed to meet tonight.
We did. Funny how whenever I'm willing to get closer to you, you're not ready for me, and those returns are rare. You are willing. I'm never able to come through.
There's nothing funny about it.
I know.
What is it at this time?
It's awkward to say.
Can you keep it simple?
Very.
Say it.
The border militia tapped me to assassinate you. Nothing personal. They're frightened by your reputation. They want you dead.
Nima said you asked that I be taken off the operation.
Alex, a bunch of very bad men want to kill you.
Won't be the first time.
I thought Nima agreed with me on this.
She does. Fortunately, Miranda figures as long as it was my fiance who was trying to kill me, I should be safe.
Ex-fiance.
So last week,
I saved the ring for you, but the militia is still after you. When they see no result, they'll tap someone else.
let's wait until then. I believe in this operation. Abigail Torres is paranoid and doesn't trust having any law enforcement involved in her campaign. I need to be on the inside. It's the only way to protect their campaign and preserve the state's democracy.
Yeah, I understand. Still, it's awfully risky for us to be seen together.
I agree.
I miss you.
Miss you. Coming from a man who aims to shoot me, it's a good thing to hear. At least, only one of us has a target on her back.
Exterior biker bar night. Eddie parks his pickup outside a bar favored by young white toughs. A tattooed bouncer stops Eddie at the front door.
Where do you think you're headed, Jose?
Couple of your friends invited me here, Popeye and Putin.
Bouncer looks over at Eddie and remains doubtful.
News to me.
I understand it's urgent. Code Charlie.
The bouncer stops a random fellow on his way into the bar.
Say, Jimmy, let Popeye know a beaner is waiting outside for him. He says Popeye and Putin have business with him.
Exterior biker bar. Moments later, Popeye emerges from the bar. He offers Eddie a handshake.
Your name?
Eddie.
Your boss Largo tells us you're his best lieutenant, fearless and savvy.
I do my best.
Come inside. We'll talk.
Interior biker bar. Tack room night. Eddie follows Popeye inside. Lynching nooses hang from the rafters above. The Tack Room is a sacred sanctum of white racism. The alt-right's favorite mural hangs behind the bar. Donald Trump, depicted as a conquering Caesar, leads a squad of Navy SEALs who frog-march Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton, and Harry Reid before him. The mural behind the bar is the original. Every bar patron eyes Eddie with sinister intent. Popeye locks eyes with the paramilitary to let them know Eddie is okay. Eddie, casual and nonchalant, takes it all in. One item, however, does force a rise out of him, a cartoon on a wall which degrades Mexican women. Interior biker bar, back room, night. Putin sits at the head of a conference table. Popeye, Baghdad Bob, and the other border militia leaders sit with Eddie. Putin presents Eddie with a snapshot of Brian Booth.
Know this fellow?
Eddie accepts and studies the snapshot.
Is he the one who stopped the rumble at Foot's rally for governor?
The one. We received intel an FBI agent is working to infiltrate our organization. There are patriots in D.C. sympathetic to our cause. We're certain he's the G-man.
Eddie puts down Ryan's snapshot.
The FBI is your problem, not ours.
I understand a while back a squeaky clean Chicano cop infiltrated your ranks. I thought you might like to see some payback.
He's a local hero now. We can't touch him.
This cop's murder points our way instead of yours. Will that be enough to satisfy your honor?
I say, dead is dead. If it's the best we get, we take it. He looks for tit-for-tat exchange for an FBI mole.
That's the plan.
Eddie offers Putin a handshake. With visible distaste, the overly proud white nationalist racist shakes the Chicano's hand.
This, I think, is the beginning of a beautiful friendship. My late ex-wife loved that movie.
Sounds like a chick flick. Never saw it.
End episode.